In this video, we'll be reviewing right triangle trigonometry for your review assignment, which you can use. Not only is it a regular assignment, but to also, catch up on trig for those of you that missed some of the previous lessons. And this is mixed review over the SOH CAH TOA. So one thing that students struggled with was labeling the sides of a triangle. So when you're labeling the sides of a triangle, you always do them in this order: H, which stands for hypotenuse, then O, which stands for opposite, and then A, which stands for adjacent. So your H, or your hypotenuse, is always opposite the 90-degree angle, or across from the 90-degree angle. After that, you look at the angle that they give you the value of, or the angle that you're solving for. And if you look across from that, you'll find the opposite side, or your O. And then your leftover side will be your A, or your adjacent side. Then from there, you'll use the phrase SOH CAH TOA to decide what you're plugging in for. Anytime you're using SOH, the S in SOH stands for sine, the C in CAH stands for cos, the T in TOA stands for tan. And after sine, cos, and tan, always goes your angle. So here on problem 1, we're going to start by labeling the sides before we solve for missing side x. So I look opposite the 90, and that's my hypotenuse, or my H. Then I look at my angle here, my 68 degrees, and across from that is my O, my opposite side. Leftover side would be A. I'm going to cross out the one that's on the blank side, which is O, because there we would have nothing to plug in. For A, we have an X. For H, we have a 47. And now I'm deciding between SOH, CAH, and TOA. So for this problem, since I have the letters A and H left, I'm going to use CAH because those come out in CAH. Remember, the C stands for cos, and then you always put your angle. In this picture, it was the 68 degrees. And then the CAH tells you the order to plug in. So we're going to do A on top, H on the bottom of our fraction. In the picture, A is X and H is 47. And then here, when I had taught the lesson, I did a little longer, but then I taught students a shortcut, which was when X is on top, you multiply. So in other words, to get your answer for X, you can just multiply the 47 times the cos 68 degrees. The number always goes first. The ones with the words always go second. And from here, we plug into our online calculator. So I'm going to go into my online calculator, and I'm going to plug in the 47 times cos 68 degrees. Remember, if your calculator looks a little different, it might have a basic or scientific button. You want to choose the one that says scientific. So here my answer is in blue, and it's 17.6. And that would be the answer for that missing side. On this next problem, we're going to label our sides. So opposite the 90 is our hypotenuse. My angle is 42. Across or opposite of that is my O. Leftover side is A. Here, since H is on the blank side, we're going to cross it out. The letters that I didn't cross out are O and A. So I'm going to be using SOH because those have, O and A come out in TOA, so I'm going to be using TOA. So tan, and then our angle in the picture was 42 degrees equals. O in our picture was 26, and A is X. This time, X is on the bottom. When it's on the bottom, you divide. So instead of being 26 times tan 42, this time it's 26 divided by tan 42. The one with the words always goes last. And now we can plug into our calculator. Remember here, when you go to plug in something new, you want to clear it by pressing the AC button. So I cleared it, and now I'm going to do 26 divided by tan 42. That comes out to about 28.9. So that would be the missing side there that the X was on. So just to summarize, the steps are always the same. It's just the last step that's always different. When you set up your trig ratio, if X is on top, you multiply. And then if X is on the bottom, you divide. And then here we're going to do a different problem. This time we're solving for a missing angle. So my H is opposite the 90. Here my angle is X. Across from that would be my O. And then A goes on the leftover side. For this one, I'm going to cross out the A because that's the blank side. And then here, since O and H are left, we're going to use SO. The S stands for sine. This time our angle was the X, and then our O was the 35, H was the 38 in the picture. This one's different because X is not on the top or bottom of the fraction. It's actually on the opposite side. So for this problem, we're not going to multiply or divide. Usually when you're solving for a missing angle, you're not even going to use sine, cos, or tan. You're going to use the opposite. And that's because if you want to get X by itself, we need to move sine to the other side. So if you move sine to the other side, you're actually doing the opposite or inverse of sine, and when you do that, you put a -1. So instead of it being 35 over 38, it's the sine -1 or inverse sine of 35 over 38. Now we can plug this into the calculator. So I'm going to clear it. Now I'm going to press the sine -1 button, then 35 slash or divided by 38. This one comes out to about 67.1. So when you're solving for a missing angle, you don't multiply or divide. You move your trig function to the other side and do the inverse by putting that -1.